right, what is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Lob It Up podcast. We are your hosts, Tobias, Chris Panette, and Siavash Gorbani. Boys, how are we doing today?
I'm gonna get us
Siavash, you
started,
start us
man.
off,
I'm gonna
brother.
get us started. I'm good. I'm excited.
That's
We missed
good.
the episode last week. I still have all this energy built up, man.
Yeah,
We gotta get
RIP
this
to the
started.
episode. That's the problem that, like, obviously, how far are we into this? Like 2 years or whatever in terms of
Yeah.
the pandemic and stuff. Like, as experienced as we already were with technology, like our generation, and then put into this, you would think that we would know how to like troubleshoot and problem solve technology after, during, before, but we're still winging it. But Chris, how are you doing, man?
Not too bad, man. It's been an interesting weekend to say the least. But other
Yeah.
than that, it's it's been good, I guess. So like I said, less stress, more blessed.
For
So
sure.
we all
Striking
good.
up partnership deals and
Yep, exactly.
arrangements.
Signing long-term contracts.
Exactly.
We
Exactly.
got a three team trade going on right now. So
Yeah,
You
and
got, you
and
got this.
trade deadline for the NBA is coming up, but that's not what we're going to be talking about today. But we were talking about potential partnerships, potential meetups in the future with your endeavors, and the same thing can happen with these guys that we're going to talk about today. Some are first time all stars, some are long time all stars. But today we're going to give our lob it up list of our all-star ballot. So Steve Ash, Chris, and myself, we're going to go through. We're going to name our 2 starting guards from each conference, our 3 starting forwards from each conference, and then just like the NBA does it, on the bench, the reserves, 2 more guards, 3 more forwards, and then 2 wild card spots. And we talked about it before about the injury reserves, and do we vote in a guy that's injured? We got KD that's injured, PG's obviously out. Do we vote these guys in? Do we leave them out? Do we omit them? But we've decided we're going to go ahead and vote them in as we see fit, and then afterwards we'll replace them with someone who can actually play in the All-Star game. So um, let's get it started let's go to the West, because we always go to the East with
the
you
East.
guys. You both have 2 representatives in the East, so we always go to the East. Let's start in the West first. Who wants to kick it off?
I think we should probably do it like just breaking it down. So I'm gonna
Okay.
start it off by going over my guards, and then you guys
Mm-hmm.
can show your guards, and then we can go on to the
Sure.
forwards.
Sure.
I think this is very easy. I think this might be the easiest part. Maybe in the East there is an easier pick, but out in the West for my guards, I have Stephen Curry,
Mhm.
who's having a MVP like season,
Mhm.
and for the second guy, the second best point guard in the league today is John Morant,
Yeah.
and I think
Oh.
both those guys are deserving for the starting spot.
Okay.
I agree. And I think I hope that there's at least 6 guys, at least in the starters, that we can all kind of lock in and agree that they should be starters. But I totally agree with you, Siavash. I have Steph and Jaw there. Steph's one of those
Okay.
guys that we can lock in. Jaw, how many times have we talked about Jaw on this podcast? Like how electrifying and exciting he is to watch, and that's your boy, Chris. Like
I
you're
know.
a Jaw guy.
I
I'll
know.
admit I just jumped on the train this year, but I'm full steam ahead. Like I love this player. I love watching him. So no doubt he deserves. And this is his first time being an All Star, right?
Yes,
And he's a starter. How fucking cool is that, man? That's pretty sick. That's
that's dope.
badass.
I know. Ugh,
But
God,
you
see,
sound a little surprised, Chris. You sound like maybe you
yeah.
didn't take Steph or Jaw. So maybe give us
No.
what you're.
I was just surprised you both had him in as a starter because I definitely thought you'd have him in being voted as an all-star for sure. But I thought maybe you'd have had somebody else come up because for me, I have obviously Curry. Again, no disagreement there with like the both of you. But then coming in after, I got Luca. Luca coming in.
Interesting.
Hmm.
I
For
had
the
somebody
starting,
else in mind for that starting guard spot, but it wasn't Luca.
No, because I was just thinking of Luca because he's such like a complete package. But then again, we started talking about like could he be drafted as a forward? Could he be drafted as a guard? Back and forth,
Totally.
either or. But you know what? Like if it was just strictly solid guard, then 100% like it would go to Jaw. But
Uh,
Jaw is
uh,
on my list though.
And that's the thing you mentioned too. There are minimal, there's not a lot, but there
Yeah.
are a few guys, in our list and in the NBA that play both the guard position and the forward position. So there's a bit of leniency there. I'm gonna
Yeah.
stick with what they usually play, but the leniency is there for sure. But so you have Luka and Steph as your starting guards in the West.
Yeah. I
Okay.
have them both there.
So
We'll get to
why?
Luka in a minute, but
The Dom.
what was it about Ja versus Luka for you?
Yeah, thank you.
Because you're
For
a Ja
me,
guy.
Yeah,
I
that
am a
was
Ja
surprising.
guy. I am a Ja guy. I was just.
Pause.
It was just for me
Interesting
basically
choice.
just broke down to just, I guess, Luka just coming in and just being like a little bit more complete, I guess. Luka's been here, he's been doing things regardless of it, whether it being in the NBA or over often like, the Euro League, like a lot of this stuff ain't new to him. Whereas Jod's like, last year we saw it. This year we're really seeing it, so like he's really coming into his own this year. So I definitely think he did deserve an all-star nod. Just I wasn't sure if he was 100% ready for like that starting role. That's all.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
All right. So do you want to hit us off with the starters for the forwards out in the West?
Yeah, totally. So this is difficult. Like I said, like there's 3 locks on each side, and we already hit one with Steph, and the 2 other I think we can agree on in the West are LeBron and Jokic.
Yeah.
There's no denying, in my opinion, that Jokic, we already know this guy's in MVP level conversations, but just with the Lakers and LeBron, we're seeing LeBron, do this again, trying to figure out whether, and this is a fact, he has multiple Hall of Famers on his team, multiple All-Stars on his team, but injuries and the curious case of Russell Westbrook have come up, and that's kind of deteriorated the train of the Los Angeles Lakers. But LeBron's found a way to stay consistent, to stay relevant, and to keep putting up numbers as he's done his whole career, even playing at center, which is pretty crazy. So I've got LeBron there as well. Now for my third forward, it was difficult because you're looking at the list and it's kind of hard to find who deserves that starting spot. And there's one guy that, if you look at his numbers, definitely deserves that starting spot. But for me, it's difficult because I don't like putting injuries in if they're not going to be playing. But, I had a conversation with Siavash. He assured me it was okay to put in injuries, and made me feel better about my decision. And I'm going to show some hometown bias. I'm going to go with Paul George in the forward spot.
Man,
that's
he's
all right.
He's been pretty good this year, and obviously the first half that he played, but without Kawhi and dragging that team, and a lot of people thought that team was going to be bottom feed, and he kept them in the 5th, 6th spot. And yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah,
I think he deserves it, man. Like, I understand with the injuries, it's hard to try to put a guy who's been injured for what now, like 10 games. It's difficult, but I think he deserves it. That's who I have as my third lock in as well, next to Braun and Jokic. I almost thought about doing a 3-center forward position with another center, but I'm going to throw PG some love.
Yeah,
thank you.
My list the exact same way. Got to show PG some love, just because, again, like you said, he carried this team at like the start of the season.
Right,
he was just amazing, man. So you got to reward that hard work
for sure.
So
for sure. Okay, so that is the starters for the West, and we were all in unison except for the Luka pick. Obviously, Steve Ash and I had Ja, and you went with Luka. So it sounds like we're all on the same page. Do we want to jump over to the East to do the starters, or do we want to just stay in the West? Jump over to the East? Okay, so Chris, we started with you last time.
I'm not starting.
Chris, I don't want to start either, so Chris, you can start again.
I was gonna say I definitely didn't start.
So. Yeah, I started.
Yeah, I started hesitating. I was like, wait, I feel like Steve Ash started.
Yeah,
so perfect. Chris, you're starting.
Okay, all right. So for my picks in the East, I know, like looking over in the East, like it was really tough to like lock in some players, but and obviously I'm gonna have C just fucking horny over there on the other side, but I got Harden, DeMar, Durant, Joel, and Giannis as my starting 5.
Okay, so I think we can get it out the way that the forwards
Mhm.
were going to be a locking for all three of us. We were going to break it down, but you know what? Let's get out the way. So I can say I have those three guys. Do you have them as well?
Yeah, KD,
Just to
Giannis,
make
and
sure.
Embiid 100% locked.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and KD, we don't know what the injury is, but he's deserving of starting spot, no
100%.
question. The guards, you said Harden and DeRozan?
DeMar, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So for the for the listeners, the
So,
league
yeah.
has
I
allowed
know.
the league has allowed DeMar to be voted in as a guard, even though he hasn't played a minute at the guard position. But I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
I think the guy deserves that starting position. For my list, I do also have for my guards DeMar, but
Why?
I don't
But-
like this. I don't want to pick. It's difficult.
but I do not have James Harden. I think the strip
Okay.
club. He might be in the starting lineup over there, but he's not in the starting lineup for the All Stars. Instead, I do have Trae Young. I think he's
Okay.
putting up crazy numbers. I'm not one of those guys who's like, oh, you got to be winning to get the All Star. I think that's for the All NBA. The All NBA, I do look at the wins and I'm like, okay, this guy carried this team. But for the All Star, let's have some fun. Let's give some of these guys who are deserving of that position. And I think Trae Young has been doing incredible things offensively.
Yeah.
And he deserves a starting spot. Tobias, give us your
I
answer.
know. The thinking.
Who'd you go with? You went with Trae Young and who?
DeMar, my guy.
Lamar.
Yeah.
See, and that's where it's difficult for me because where I was just talking about my restrictions on injuries and putting guys in with injuries, I can't let two rules pass by. I can't let two things
Oh,
that
now
I
that's
don't
the rule
believe
you don't let pass? You let your guy get in, not mine? I bet.
But there's a lot of guards here, and it's difficult. But for my two guard positions, I am also going to go with Trae Young because I believe the same thing. I think when it comes to positioning, I think it's more for the All NBA awards or the All NBA team versus the All Star team. So I'm gonna have Trae Young in there, who also got snubbed last year, and unfortunately, I'm not gonna have DeRozan in there because he's a forward.
This guy said, of course.
But I will have Zach LaVine because I don't think I can give none of the Bulls a starting position. I think we look at the performance that those two, especially, but also guys like Lonzo and Caruso and whatnot have put together this year to give them the positioning that they are in the league. I think to not have them represented on the starters would be dismissive of me, so I can't do that. So I'm gonna have LaVine and Trae Young at the top. Their numbers are so similar. I mean, I think the percentage LaVine had better. The points DeRozan had a bit higher. They're so similar. That's why it was difficult for me. But if I valued DeRozan as a guard, he would be there. But unfortunately, I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's fair because I think DeMar has had a better, more impactful season. LaVine has been under the radar doing his thing, but DeMar has been doing all the glamour of hitting game winners, being the guy in the clutch, and being the face of this new Bulls team. And I think he does deserve a starting. But I hear your rules. Whatever. You get your guy in. Don't give my guy a shot. I get it.
And you know what? I am excited too for LaVine as well. That's kind of the added bonus of me putting him in over DeMar, even regardless of the position scenario. Because I remember years ago, we remember Zach LaVine prior to this year as flashy, exciting dunker. Slam dunk champion, going back and forth with Aaron Gordon. And I remember he said, I'll never return to the All-Star game unless I'm playing as an All-Star. And last year, people wanted him in the dunk competition, or maybe it was the year before that. And I honestly thought, I was like, I don't know if this guy's ever going to get in to compete in the All-Star game. I just don't know if he's going to get there. If the Bulls aren't in the right scenario, I don't know. But it's just nice to see that he's definitely in those conversations, and I have him, and some other people do have him as a starter. So it's pretty cool.
I do think that was a 2020 All-Star game that was in Chicago, and everybody was like, "Oh, it's Chicago dunk contest." I do think he was deserving to get in, but he didn't because of standings. But I do agree with your point, man. This guy was a dunker. He was a flashy guy. Now he's one of the best three-point shooting guys in the league.
Totally.
I like my guy.
LaVine's a nice player. He's never been he's not a name that everyone knows. Like everyone knows of him, but he's not like your Curry or your Lucas or your Jaws. Like he's
Yeah.
not that name. But like he's just been a guy that I've never heard a bad thing about. Like just a solid guy, similar to a DeMar DeRozan, like just a solid guy. So that's pretty cool.
It was so weird, like when I first heard about Levine too, like back in the day. I think I remember watching like a random basketball interview with him as like a kid, and I was like, "Yo, who is this nerd?" And then like, because he was so nerdy and like weird in the video, and then he was just like, "Yeah, I like basketball and like I like to dunk." And then seeing it,
So casual.
What do you want a 10-year-old to say? Like, hey,
And
I
then,
would like
like,
the game
yo.
and run a pick and roll. Like,
bro, and then but like seeing him now and stuff like that, it's just like crazy. It's like, wow, bro, it's like you've come like so fucking far just with like your game and everything, and it's just he's just amazing to watch.
Yeah, fortunately for Zach LaVine, he went from nerd and transitioned that into a great NBA career.
Yeah.
But for yourself, you're
Mhm.
still sitting in the group chat talking about Clash of Clans or Titans or whatever.
Bro, it's
we have these
popular.
we have these pictures, we have no idea, and Steve just like, yo, Chris, help me out. I know you're an
didn't
anime
know.
guy. Like I know you know
didn't
these.
know. I had to ask for help. I had to phone a friend.
phone
I
a friend on
I
that?
had to use a lifeline. I actually asked Mike. Oh, sorry, Mike.
Oh,
good.
that's jokes.
I like that.
That's jokes.
I do want, you know what? Before we go ahead, I like how much we're talking about Zach LaVine. And I do want to just pose this question.
Mhm.
What do you guys think Zach LaVine stands in the shooting guards in the league today?
Today,
Mm,
I'd have to look it up, but
yeah, hold on.
I
Keep
might
talking.
say-
yeah.
hey, listen, man. I think he's top 2, and he's not 2. Listen, depending on how you
No
feel about
way.
Devin
No,
Booker,
I don't know.
depending on how you feel about Devin Booker, I think my guy got it, bro. Because Harden's not a 2 guard right now. He's playing a guard. He's playing a point guard.
Okay, here we go.
Go through it.
Would you take? Okay, so you're saying Harden's a point guard?
Yes, because he's been
Okay.
playing point guard all season, right? If he wasn't a point guard, yes, he would be better than LaVine, no question.
Would you take? Oh, this is point guards and shooting guards. That's annoying. There we go. Top shooting guards and small forward. Like, no. Okay, would you take Donovan Mitchell or Zach LaVine?
Zach LaVine, no question.
Chris?
Fuck. I think I would take Donovan Mitchell, to be honest.
And we
Would
talked
you take
about it
Devin
before.
Booker or Zach LaVine?
I would take Devin
Definitely.
Booker.
Would you take Kyrie Irving or Zach LaVine?
He's not really playing though.
Yeah, I was gonna
No, I
say.
feel you. I'm just
Okay,
trolling.
yeah, I was gonna say.
Sick trolling.
No, not.
I would definitely say Zach's probably like top 5.
Would you take Jalen
Stop
Brown or
really.
Zach LaVine?
Zach
I would-
LaVine.
Zach LaVine, I think.
Yeah, I
It'd
would
be
as well.
like an inch. It'd be inched out though.
Come on.
I would as well.
Yeah.
Boys.
Balls.
I think he's definitely in the top. In the top.
He's top 3, bro.
30,
you can
yeah,
argue those
30.
2 guys.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and again,
So-
Donovan
I'm
Mitchell.
looking. I can't really see anyone else. Like unless I'm going and being like, well,
Bradley Beal's
Beal,
nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
Bradley Beal, Fred VanVleet, guy. He plays at 1, right?
He's a point
Yeah,
guard,
he plays the
bro.
1.
Paul
you know,
George.
Tay-
I consider Paul a 3. To be
Forward.
honest.
Yeah.
I don't really consider him a guard.
Mike. Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking at all these other names, it's like, yeah.
Chris Middleton, I consider a forward.
Yes, he's a 3.
Mhm.
But that's all I mean, bro. Like, even those 2 guys, I think there's an argument. I think
Really, a
that's
guy like, well, he's too young now. But I was gonna say
Let's see.
Anthony Edwards, but he's way too young still.
oh,
Yeah.
come on. He's not in top
Right,
5
true.
right now.
No.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I
shout out
think
to
you're
him. He
valid.
got injured. Prayers up.
I think you have a valid point. I think he's top 3. I think it's just that Donovan Mitchell, Devin Booker conversation, which is a battle on its own. But I
Mhm.
think Zach LaVine is definitely entering that conversation for sure. Okay, do we
Okay.
want to go back to the West and do the reserves?
No,
Want
stick
to
with
stay in
the
the
East.
East? We'll stay in the
Stick with
East. I don't know.
I started.
Would you like me to
so,
start?
Yeah, please.
I'll go. Let's break it down again. We're gonna go.
I'm writing my names
guards.
down as we're doing this.
Don't worry, bro. I did it on the spot too. But we're gonna do the 2 guards and the 3 forwards, and then we're gonna talk about our wild cards. Okay. So I'm gonna just say the 2 guards and the 3 forwards. For my 2 guards, as I mentioned, my starting guards are Trey and DeMar. For my bench, I got Levine and Harden. And I don't think there's any conversation about that. Both those guys playing great. Harden, coming off the strip club, He's still playing pretty good. On my forwards, now this is where it gets a little shaky.
Hold on. You had DeRozan. Oh yeah, you had DeRozan and Trey at the start, and you had
Yes.
Levine and
Harden.
Harden. Okay.
For my forwards, I do have two names that are locked in, and that's Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
And Jared Allen.
Interesting.
And those two guys, I think, deserving. The Cavaliers are now the 5th seed. The Heat are the 1st seed. I don't think there's any question on that. My third guy, I was unsure about this pick until last night. Until the guy dropped a 51-point near triple-double. I'm going with Jason Tatum. There's no question they're doing pretty good now.
Shout out to Jason Tatum and Joel Embiid in 1 week of fantasy. They both gave me 50 points. Love it. Big fan.
Lucky.
Yeah, no, I think that's a valid choice with Tatum, dropping a 50 last night. So you had, as your forwards, you had Jimmy, Jarrett, and Jason.
Yes, that is correct.
Triple J. All right, Chris, you're up.
Triple J. All right, for my guards, I had Trey, and I had Levine going in there. Obviously, like we talked about earlier, both guys playing great, both very deserving. For two of my forwards, I did also have Jared Allen, and I had Tatum in there too, regardless. And then, do you want my third one too?
The third forward, yes.
Yeah, my third one will be just had Jimmy.
Yeah, all right.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, what were your forwards again?
My forwards were Jarrett, Tatum, and Jimmy.
Okay,
same.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Difficult.
No. It's not easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Yeah, we definitely have similarities. I've got Harden in the guard position. Obviously, I have DeRozan at the forward. I also have Jimmy there and Tatum there as well. My other guard position, trying to figure this out was a little difficult. There are a few options I'm looking at. But I think you just talked about it briefly, Seabash. I think similar to what Cleveland or what Chicago is doing in terms of where they stand in the conference. I think it's also impressive what Cleveland is doing. Jared Allen is definitely a huge factor of that. So is Evan Mobley, the young rookie. But I'm actually going to take Darius Garland, who's averaging like 20 and 10. Yeah.
Wait, who was your guys again? So for the forwards, it was DeRozan,
Jimmy, and Tatum, and then Harden and Garland.
All right. I'm not gonna say anything.
If you look, he's averaging 20 and 10, and he's a huge catalyst for that Cleveland team, especially since Colin Sexton went down.
He really is.
I'm not arguing that, but let's go on to our wild card picks, and then we can talk about it.
Fair.
For my two guys, this is a bit difficult. For my first wild card, I think this guy's a lock-in for me, Fred VanVleet. I think he's definitely deserving. There was a point where Pascal Siakam wasn't playing up until recently, and these guys were still competing for the 10th and the 9th seed. And there was nobody else on that roster I was looking at outside of Fred that I was like, oh, this guy's going to carry them. Fred was incredible during that time. His like numbers are like over the top, not like his actual numbers, like the advanced stat numbers. So I'm not going to get into that, but I think he's at least deserving of an all-star spot. And, out of that team, and I think they're sitting at 9th right now. They've been doing pretty good, so I would give that to him. My second spot, it's also difficult. I'm torn between Garland and another name, but I think Garland does deserve it. We'll get to why I was a little bit surprised by your pick, though, but those are my two wild cards. Once we get to injuries, maybe I can talk about some of the names.
Before we get to injuries, two things. With just for people that are listening, with the wild card, it doesn't have to be a guard, doesn't have to be forward, it can be two forwards, it can be two guards, it can be whatever you want. That's why it's a wild card. Second of all, Levine, is he injured? Like, are we assuming that he's injured?
We're assuming he's injured, yes. That's correct.
Okay. So it gives me an extra pick. That's just me. And Katie, I guess,
pick.
as well, too.
Yeah.
That's 2 extra picks.
Okay. Is it Chris's turn? It's my turn.
Yeah, I can
Either
go.
one.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you're still scribbling over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I agree with you with the Van Fleet pick there. So he's definitely deserving of that nod. And I think for like just my last like wild card pick, I literally just went with like pure entertainment factor, and I went with the young LaMelo Ball, just because I feel like the people are gonna want to see him, and that's really about it.
All right, Mr. Barkley.
Yeah.
Okay. This is difficult. I don't know what
I'll take your time.
I'm gonna take. Okay. I'm running out of names here, so I'm really just forced to what I have on my word bank of names. So if I miss someone, then that's on me. In the East for my wild card, I'm gonna take a guy's partner that I already took, and arguably he's been a lot better than him for most of the season. You mentioned Jason Tatum just dropped a 50-point, which was nice, but Jaylen Brown has been there, been consistent as well. Yeah, Jaylen Brown. I'm gonna put Brown in my wild card here, and for my second wild card, I think I'm gonna ride with Chris on the exciting train, and I'm gonna go LaMelo Ball. I have plans, trust me. That's why I asked about the injuries.
No.
That's why I asked about the injuries.
No. Because you can't. You're putting these guys over those other guys, and those other guys are Jared Allen and Fred VanVleet.
Yeah, you're right, exactly. But I've strategically planned it so that I can use them for my injuries.
Right, but we can't, like, for example, it's about who's worth more. Right?
Yeah, but there's no fucking forwards. If I put Allen in as my wild card, I would rather pick Chris to play in the All-Star game as an injured reserve for the forwards than anybody else on this roster.
You can have those guys. You can have Brown and LaMelo. Those are going to be mine. You know what? We're going to get to it. Those are going to be my injured reserves.
I have Brown as a guard.
Yeah, Brown. I think Brown's listed as a guard.
That's why I did it like that.
But you picked them in the wild cards. So my thing is, you missed out on 2 guys that are deserving way more than Brown. Mm-hmm. And that's Jared Allen and Fred VanVleet.
Correct.
So you can literally, like, I don't care about the position. It's about the wild card, right?
I know, but if I choose Allen and Fred VanVleet in the wild card, then I've got 2 guards. My 2 guards are LaMelo and Brown, and I've got to fill a guard and a forward spot. So I'm being proactive.
You're thinking about too much. I'm thinking about who's deserving more.
I'm analytical, bro.
It don't matter, bro. We're not playing 2K. It's fucking basketball. Jaylen Brown can play the 4.
Bro, I have to build my team.
He's building his best my team.
And Allen coming in as my injury. But I agree. I agree that Fred VanVleet and Allen should be there over Brown and LaMelo. Totally. But I'm just trying to be strategic.
As long as we're on the same page.
Yeah. Okay, so that was the East. Now we'll jump over to the West, and we'll do the West reserves, wild card. And then, do you guys want to name your injuries?
Yeah, let's do it for the East quickly.
Yeah.
So Kevin Durant and I think Levine are the sure injuries right now.
Mm-hmm.
For my pieces off the injury, I said LaMelo and Brown. I'm kind of shaky on that too. I might throw Bam Adebayo a bone. I don't know. He's played like 20, 21 games.
Than playing. Mm-hmm. How many games he played?
He's 21, 22 right now.
And wasn't there 26? 26, wasn't it?
I think that's the line we drew. But I don't know. So those guys are the names I have right now, LaMelo and Jaylen Brown. But I don't know about Jaylen Brown, bro. Listen, he hasn't been consistent. He has had flashes, but I don't think.
Yeah, that's why, again, the only reason he's on the wild card spot is because I needed him to sit there.
My God.
Okay, yeah, Chris, what about your injuries?
So, sorry, who are we placing again? We're placing
KD and Levine.
So, for like KD, man, I know I'm going to get absolutely fucking flamed, but it's because I already have everybody else. I'm going to just Throw my boy Siakam a bone,
I
bro.
knew.
I
he was gonna
knew
say
it.
that.
Why?
I even mouthed it. I was like, "Siakam."
Bro.
Bro, I'm like, no.
I'm not
way
picking
this guy would
LaMarcus
do this.
Aldridge. I'm not fucking picking Miles Bridges over him. And
Who
Bam,
said
like you
Miles-
said,
Miles
and,
Bridges deserves more.
and Bam
What?
is like
No,
that's
I would take
debatable.
Bridges over Siakam.
That's debatable, bro.
I would
He's
take
been
like
sick.
5 other guys before Siakam.
Nah, you're wild for that.
I would
Wild
take
for that.
Tobias Harris before Siakam.
I would take
Wild.
Tobias Barkley before Siakam.
Shut the hell up. Siakam's
Hold
been
up, how
putting
many games has he played?
he's been putting up numbers. Loud
Yeah, but he
man.
can't put up numbers in like 10 games and we'll be like, all right, go in.
Anyways,
No, we're not gonna anyways
onto
that.
my guard pick.
Wait, he played 31 games? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So
How?
sit down.
He's been so quiet though.
Be humble.
Be humble.
And then for my guard pick, did any of us pick Kyrie? Is he actually even going to be allowed to be there? Actually, probably can't even be there.
Where is it again? Where is it being hosted?
It's in Cleveland.
Yeah, you could go.
Will he be allowed though? Because I guess
Yeah,
he
he
didn't
would be.
play. Did he play
One of the
26
rings.
games though?
Hey,
Wait, what are you saying? Like a certain amount of games?
Yeah, right. Because if we're gonna say like, oh, you got to have played so many games,
Kyrie wouldn't hit our. No.
wouldn't hit ours. But do you think the league would probably be like, yeah, fuck, here you go, Kyrie?
Fuck, I don't know, man.
No.
He's played less than 10 games.
Yeah.
I doubt it.
Guys, we're going off who deserves it,
So,
right?
okay,
Like,
then you
Bam
know what?
would
If it's
deserve
it's
it
all
way
it's all.
more.
I know. If we're going off deserve, then yeah, I'm gonna go with Darius then.
All right,
Swap
good.
Darius for my guard. No, because it's just like, oh, Kyrie's even on the list. My eyes, like I've looked at this list so many times, and not once have my eyes even fallen on Kyrie until just now. So, that's I was like, oh,
Okay,
shit.
so moving over to the West now.
To the West.
We'll do the West reserves, and I will start. I will start with the guards and repping the Suns shirt. I'm gonna rep my boy CP3 and D Book. Repping the Suns out in the West for the guard positions. And to be honest with you, I only have 2 spots right now for my forwards. I haven't figured out the third spot, but I do have my wild card, so that
Okay.
shows to tell you that there's better guards than there are forwards. But my 2 forwards I have locked in so far are Karl Anthony Towns and Luka Doncic.
Okay.
You guys can.
What? All right, never mind. I'm sorry.
That's
Karl Anthony Towns and Luka Doncic. You guys can go through, and then we'll
Okay.
get the wild cards whenever we're done.
With my reserves out in the West for the guards, I don't think there's a question about that. I agree with Tope, repping the Suns, CP3, and Devin Booker, very well deserving. For the forwards, however, it's a bit difficult. I have Karl Anthony Towns.
Yep.
And I do have Rudy Gobert.
Ugh.
For my third guy, I think the numbers are not going to be promising for this guy, but he deserves it. And we're seeing his impact now. As he's been injured, I don't know if he's going to play. We'll get to that, but Draymond Green is my
100%.
third forward.
That was the third guy that I forgot, so thank you for mentioning Draymond.
Okay.
Because when I was watching a few videos, like trying to like see where a lot of other official voters and whatnot, where they were leaning, what they were thinking, whatnot, just to hear their analysis, I heard some people mentioning like Draymond as a starter. So I mean, like like you said, like the impact that he's bringing, it shows for sure. Okay, Chris, hit us with your guards and your forward.
I'm gonna get flamed again, but I'm also being being strategic, like Tobias.
Well, hey, knock on our strategic process.
I got along, you know.
Bro, why you guys keep doing that? Give the people what they deserve.
So obviously, I didn't have Ja as my starter, so naturally, Ja is going to be as one of my guards, and I have Booker there as well. And then going as far as my forwards, I have Cat as well, Rudy, and here comes the flame. I got Mr. Anthony Day-to-Day Davis there.
I'm fine with it.
You know,
I'm more so upset about the Rudy pick. I don't like Rudy. Like I think they talked about this on the Hoop Collective. I think that's where I watched it. See if Ashley would have been the episode that you told me to watch. But Rudy in an All-Star game, like it's supposed to be exciting.
Yeah,
like people are
he's kind of boring.
And okay, go set a screen, Rudy. Like you're just standing in the way. Like
I know he's kind of boring, but
I know we
Like,
joke
I
that.
understand what he's done with this skill level and
Mhm.
him as a player. He deserves to be there as an all-star. But in terms of the excitement of the all-star game
None.
and the festivities, boring.
Yeah.
And that's where, like, I know we joke about that. I don't like French guys and I don't like Rudy, but that's where I'm actually upset I
I've
have him
seen-
in there because of that. But I'm going off who deserves it. And to
Mhm.
be honest,
fair.
if I leave
That's fair.
Rudy off, there isn't a lot of other names I can go off of. You know,
Yeah.
Anthony Davis, I think definitely Rudy deserves before him. I think that's just a sure thing. But
Mhm.
I'm not mad at you for putting Anthony Davis in there. I think these are our picks, and it can be unique. It doesn't have to be all the same. Even though I'm still upset at Tope for
What?
putting Jaylen Brown in there.
I could have voted for Pat Bev.
You could.
What's this
You
bullshit? I didn't know
You
we could
should've.
do
You
our own
should've.
pick.
Your credibility will be out the window, but you could.
But you know what? I still got a few wild card spots.
Honestly, I'm not gonna
Alright.
lie. Like, I stumbled onto like Pat Bev's like IG like the other day, like because he commented on the NBA thing, and I was like,
That's nasty.
man, like this guy actually seems like a good guy, and actually kind of made me like Pat Bev a little bit.
No, you can't like that guy. Did you not see him push the fuck out of Chris Paul after he lost to him? Just because he posted a fucking picture of himself.
And I'm a big Pat Bev guy. I'm also a big Chris Paul guy. I didn't fuck with that. When he did that, I was so mad. I was like, why are you doing that? Like, you look like a child.
So Chris, you gave your. So who was it again? Do you mind running through them?
I had John, Booker, Cat, Rudy, and Anthony Davis.
Fair.
Yeah.
Tope. That was, you said that Draymond was going to be your third forward.
He was my
clarified
third
that?
forward. Yeah, he was.
You locked that in.
Yep.
Okay. Go through your wild cards with us.
So my wild cards again, and you look, the first wild card I'm going to mention, you're going to be like, how is this guy a wild card? Like, what? This is crazy. We were just talking about him earlier in comparison of who would you rather, Zach LaVine or Donovan Mitchell? And I think it's an easy lock for Donovan Mitchell to be in that wild card position. He could have been up there a little sooner, but like we mentioned, the guards are crazy. The guards before him, Steph, Ja, CP3, and D Book, like that's the competition that you're working with. And then Luka, we also slid into I slid into a forward position. My second guy is also a guard, and it's a guy we talked about earlier this year, quietly doing things in his own franchise, not really making noise in terms of the standings, but I'm giving my love to the guy who's almost putting up a triple-double, DeJounte Murray.
Wow.
DeJounte Murray's my guy.
You're giving DeJounte Murray a nod before Rudy Gobert?
Yep. Because I still have a forward spot in the injuries.
Bro, you guys keep doing it.
What?
Stop planning for it. Because let's say those guys are not injured and they come back. You're going to be like, oh, Rudy, whoopsie daisy. I had a plan for you, but now I can't put you in.
Yes, I will.
That's what I would do too. But come on, man. Rudy deserves it, bro.
That's life, brother. That's life.
Hey, that's life.
So that's what it was. Donovan Mitchell, DeJounte Murray, and then to fill PG's spot is Rudy Gobert.
Rudy's going to cry again about not making
Well,
All-Star
I don't care. Like, to hell with Rudy. Like,
I think I'm up next. For my deserves, I do have Donovan Mitchell. And again, as we mentioned, it's not about who deserves it more. It's just that there's so many guards that are out in the West. For my second reserve, I do have Luka. Chris had him in the starting lineup, and I could see that as a possibility because of the fan votes. But I have him down there because he hasn't been healthy all season, and he has also been coming in with that hookah body and that sweet tea body.
Hookah.
Sweet tea. There was rumors that he was always drinking sweet tea. That's why his body's looking like that. But I have him down there. He's been playing great as of recently, and he's definitely an all-star. But I do want to see more. We expected him to be an MVP kind of season.
Yeah.
But I think he's still all-star.
I get it. You want to see more of him, but less of him. Less of him being body mass. I get it.
Yes.
I get it.
Listen, I don't body shame like Tope does, but I do want him to be healthy. And, he's a young guy, though. To be fair, like, he's like, what, 22, 23?
Yeah.
He's living his college life, bro. He's just drinking, having fun. We just hold him to such a standard because of, like, our fanship for the team and wanting him to be having this legendary career.
Yeah.
That's true. Very, very true. All right. I guess I'm up next. So for my reserves, I also agreed with you, Tobias, where I have Mitchell there. And then after that, I was gonna go with our boy CP. Also have him sitting in there as
You
well.
didn't have him.
That's
Yeah.
so
Wait.
unfortunate.
Who did you have as
CP all
the?
the way down there.
Oh yeah, no, that
It's
makes
like the old
sense.
He had
man.
D-Book and Jaw because he had Luke.
Exactly, because I had
'cause he
Jaw.
had-
If you know what, if Jaw would have actually even still, then I would have still probably, if I had to choose between, Jaw, Luca, and CP probably still would have been third for me.
That's
Yeah, of
crazy,
course.
bro.
I know. Crazy
That's
takes. Crazy
crazy.
takes. And then I guess I have 2 injuries, so I would
One injury.
I
Oh
have
yeah,
PG
yeah.
and Anthony Davis.
Oh,
I don't
yeah,
think
that's right.
I think 80's out, right?
This guy
Pretty
took
sure
like
he's
4
gonna be
extra picks because
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
took AD. Hold up, let's go
You were
over.
harping
No,
on
man.
me for planning ahead. This guy was like, "I'm taking all."
I
the
know,
injured
bro.
guys.
This guy was like a level ahead.
Yeah. He's
So
like,
let's
okay,
go
I've
over
got, I've
the.
got Levine, I've got DeRozan, I've got Lonzo Ball, I've got AD,
Got all the
He
injured
just takes
guys.
I got
everybody.
I'm good.
Zion.
He got like 20 people on his roster.
Yeah. He's like
Okay, let's
checking Roto
before-
World to see what the updated injuries are.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Like Damian Lillard.
yeah.
just like Star Wars credit
Uh,
these out.
Yeah.
Before we go ahead with the reserves, with the injury reserves, I should say, so out of our list, I think we all had PG in there. And as of now, we know that he most likely he's not going to make it. Me and Tobe had Draymond in there, which he won't make it. And I think that's it. And Chris, you had Anthony Davis and PG, right?
And
So
PG, yeah.
I think AD might make it, bro, because he's coming back right now. So
Man.
if you got him in there for that plan, hey, bro, that plan might have been.
Well,
up in
I
the air
mean,
now.
well, I would have probably replaced PG with Draymond potentially, and then if I had to pick, like looking at like, man, like it's tough. Like maybe DeAndre Ayton for like 80, maybe.
Gobert is getting shit on this.
I had
Jesus.
Rudy. I had Rudy.
Did
Rudy
you?
was Rudy was in my thing. I had Ja, Booker, Cat, Rudy, and Davis.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I didn't shit on him. Come on.
All right, I'll go up next with my reserves. I have 2 reserves because of PG and Draymond. For my first one, I'm going to give some love to the guy in San Antonio, DeJounte Murray. I think he's very well deserving. I do think if there was like other players on, he probably wouldn't have made it. But right now, with this pool, with those stats, he should make it, no question.
Yeah, 100%.
The second one, I think there is a conversation made for AD. It's tough. I think it's just because you look at the other names. Who else, right? I don't really have DeAndre Ayton up there. I can't even think of who else is out there for me to put him as a forward. But I'm either going with AD or what's the guy's name? Brandon Ingram out in New Orleans. You know?
Ingram. Big Ingram.
It's-
big fan of Ingram
yeah.
over here. Big fan.
Duke boy.
Yeah. I'm going with AD though. It's if AD's injured, then probably Ingram, but I'm locking in AD as of right now.
Those 2 were my exact selections. I had Rudy to replace PG, but then I had that Draymond spot, and it was AD or it was BI. And I was waiting to see if you would name him or not, but yeah, BI is the secondary guy. So.
All right. I think that's our final lineups. Good job, guys.
Those are the final lineups.
We
Excited.
did it.
It was a headache. There was a lot of stress. I don't like choosing because then I have to move things around and leave other guys off, and it's difficult. But like we've said and we've seen it, the guards have absolutely dominated this year. They've definitely owned the league for sure. The guards. Okay, so do we want to get into our take of the week for this week?
Sir. Yes, sir.
You guys can kind of start. I haven't really thought about that because I've had obviously other things going on, so my mind has been not focused on basketball.
All
So
right.
if you guys want to, you guys take
Okay.
it up. Yeah, you
I
guys
can go
start
first. This is a very recent event that happened. I was watching the game and I was texting you guys through it. It was a very good game. the Milwaukee Bucks playing the Chicago Bulls. And one moment in the game just ruined my fucking day, and that was Grayson Allen clotheslining Caruso out in the midair.
Isn't this guy known for that? Like
Grayson
for hurting
Allen?
players?
For that reason,
he's a malicious player.
Yeah.
For that reason, my take of the week is fuck Grayson Allen. Fuck him. I hate that guy now. Fuck that guy.
Again, as a Duke fan, I've heard this my whole life. One of my best buddies, Will, absolutely hates Grayson Allen because he's a UNC fan, and obviously Duke and UNC, they're rivals. But yeah, he hates Grayson Allen.
But listen, the reason, like, cool, he's had his history, and I never cared about that. Okay, there could have been a moment he just kicked somebody, whatever. But to go out in the air and do that, and now the guy's injured, he's out for 6 weeks. Mm-hmm. And the league gave him one game. Listen, bro, like, one game is not enough if a guy's out for 6 weeks. The guy can't go up on a block. It wasn't even a block. It was like, and that's a regular season game, man. You don't have to try that one.
That makes sense. I didn't even recognize him when I saw, I guess, the Bucks Twitter had posted something in support of him for, being suspended or whatever. And what other team commented on it? I don't remember what other NBA's like Twitter commented on it and basically calling them out like goofy. And then Milwaukee's like Twitter team like blocked them and then has since now deleted the tweet. But now that makes sense. I was like, yo, like I didn't even recognize him.
Yeah, I heard the Bucks Twitter was blocking everybody when the news came out. And bro, there was just so many jokes going on about like people calling the supporters of Grayson Allen like MAGA supporters. I'm like, all right, bro. And all the pictures of him and Ted Cruz. It was funny, bro. But at the same time, listen, it's just tough for the league to allow shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like even last night, the Magic were playing, the Bulls were playing the Magic, and I think Franz Wagner, or one of those fucking Wagner brothers, just like try to like foul DeMar on a fast break. And
he wrapped him,
bro, I'm like, yo, it's a clear path foul. Why would you even foul that? Why would you foul that? Just let the guy get a dunk off, and you're doing something that he's going full speed that could cause an injury. So that's just a stupid foul. I sent it to you guys. I'm like, this foul makes no fucking sense.
Oh, okay. See, I was confused for some reason when I thought he was like, oh, that was like a stupid foul, as in like that was a stupid foul call. And I was like, okay, but yeah, no, I get it. Like DeMar's running full speed, and this guy comes, wraps him up. At least he like wrapped him up on the ground and kind of like held him to the ground versus like waiting till he's in the air. And then, you see those ones get some of the flag. Like what was the other one where the guy took like a hard fall this week? Where he went up and it was literally it just seemed like it was just momentum that like carried him because like he went for the ball, hit the ball, and they just,
I don't remember who you're talking about. I do remember the clip of the guy laying on the floor for a minute because he fell really bad.
It was a hard fall too, which sucks. But it's like obviously in that scenario it wasn't intentional, but obviously still got the flagrant.
Totally know what you're thinking about.
I've seen the same clip too. I was just trying to think what team it was. For some reason, I was thinking Portland, but I don't know if that was the team.
I don't think it was.
I feel like there was like red and black, but it wasn't the Bulls. I know it wasn't the Bulls.
Yeah, this is gonna annoy me. Not remembering a clip. I'm like, what was that?
But yeah, I understand the frustration with Grayson Allen. He's definitely, I was gonna say quite the character, but he's quite the. Like I don't know him as a person, but obviously if you look at his game style, it hasn't been the most ethical gameplay of all time in the NBA. Okay, Chris, do you want to go for your take of the week?
I don't overly have a take of the week. If you wanna go.
I don't think Russell Westbrook's getting traded. I just don't. I think you look at his contract; it's like $44 million. There's very few players in the league that could match that contract. Obviously, to make salaries work, the Lakers would need to do something like that because they're right up against the cap. I think the Lakers just try to, push through with Russ. Like LeBron wanted Russ here. I think they're going to try to make it work because I just don't know how many trade partners there are out there and. It's kind of the grass is greener on the other side or on your own pitch type of, formula. It's like, okay, you trade Russell Westbrook for John Wall. Well, are you getting more from John Wall than you are from Russell Westbrook? Like, I would say Russell Westbrook stayed in basketball shape more than John Wall has. So now you bring in John Wall, and how long is that going to take for him to get rehabilitated and up to playing, style and playing shape? So it's just, I just don't see it working. I think they're bringing back AD now, as you mentioned. I think they just try to maybe tweak a few things. Maybe it's a Taylor Horton Tucker piece that they flip for something. I just don't think that Russell Westbrook's going to be traded.
Okay,
That's my
that makes
thought.
sense.
What
That makes
about a return to Oklahoma City for like
What's the
5
trade?
picks? I think it will be a 3-team for sure.
Well, hold on. You're Oklahoma and you're going to trade 5 picks for Russell Westbrook?
Second rounders, yeah.
If I'm LA and you're like, yo, I'm going to give you 5 picks. Here you go. Do you want a free pillow too? Like, what can I give you for you to give me 5 picks? Because it's just
Second
Russ,
rounders?
bro. I'll give you my laptop, bro.
Bro, second rounders, you wouldn't take that?
Oh, 5 second rounders?
Yeah, I just said that.
Oh,
yeah, of course.
you're
Bro,
not
5 first?
That's why I was
Who do
like,
you think
Yeah.
he is? He's not Giannis. He's not Giannis. I would if I'm OKC, I would take that chance. I would give up somebody like
But
that
why?
I
But why
know.
would you, as the Lakers, do you feel you have a better team without Russ and just a couple picks? Like, you didn't get any players back.
You know what it is, and I told you guys about this. I think Bill Simmons said this at the start of the season. This is feeling like the 2018 Cavs team, where they had D Wade, D Rose, Isaiah Thomas, Jay Crowder, all these guys that you looked at, you were like, oh, on paper this makes sense, but they were a terrible team. So once they traded all those guys away for Jordan Clarkson, Larry Nance Jr., Rodney Hood, they were able to get a team around Braun to be able to make the finals. And I
But
think
they didn't
this
have Russell
is feeling
Westbrook's
like that.
$44 million contract to deal with. That's the thing. I
And that's
agree.
where-
It's valid.
That's where I feel like a team like the Thunder or the Rockets. I'm not saying Rockets with a John Wall, but I think a young team that has that cap space would be willing to just throw away some of their extra pieces that are not making sense and shut down Russell Westbrook for the offseason. And then in the offseason, a team is going to bite. Every year we see this. Like, even the Lakers, we were like, oh, Lakers would never do that. And
Well, the other thing is, too, though, because I'm with you. But Russ has got a player option for next year. So what if
he's
I
accepting
trade?
that.
What if you're Houston and I trade him to you, and you're like, we're gonna shut Russ down for the summer, and hopefully someone will bite on him in the offseason, because we're not. Oh no, I'm Russ, and I would like to accept my $47 million extension, and now Houston, you're on the hook for it. That's a hard sell.
So let's say the Magic
That's why
trade
John
for
Wall,
him.
like, they have the exact same contract. They both have a player option of 47 next year.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's happening regardless. But
2 of the worst contracts in the league today.
right, yeah, exactly.
But let's say you're the Magic. You trade away Gary Harris, Mo Bamba, some of these guys that you know you're not going to hold on to for the future. And you get this guy, Russ, shut him down. The team is going to bite with, like, I don't know, 2 firsts and a young guy. Let's say a team that's desperate for a point guard. Let's say the Clippers next year, they come out and say,
No.
I did it on purpose. I did it on purpose to get that reaction. But let's say, but seriously, let's say a team that doesn't have a great point guard is needing for that. And they're like, okay, we got to make a push for it right now. Let's say the Sixers. If you're Magic, you're sitting there, you're like, okay, I'm going to hold on to Russ. Sixers are desperate now. Joel Embiid's like, hey, make this trade or I'm out of here.
Oh, you're telling me that the longer they hold on, the more desperate they become? Is that what you're saying, Siavash?
They could.
It's hypothetical. It's hypothetical in this situation.
Hypothetically.
Hypothetical.
Hypothetical.
I love how the narrative nowadays has become that they cannot waste this Joel Embiid season. And I'm like, yeah, but come on, bro. Like, you can't trade him for a bag of chips.
How injured does he get, though, all the time? You're not guaranteed good health for Joel Embiid next year.
You're not, but if you trade him for a bag of chips, how far is he going to make it? And then next year, let's say he's healthy next year, you're going to sit there and like, oh, De'Aaron Fox and a bag of chips. What did that do? Like, dude, you could have had
depends
someone
what
else.
Flavor. If they're sweet chili heat,
that might be all right.
You got a good deal. You got a good deal. Here's a page that I pulled up. You were just talking about different contracts and what teams and whatnot. There's an article done by Bleacher Report today, actually, ironically. But it's teams that have a salary or contracts that they could possibly swap for Russ. So it just lists a player and then their team. So the first one is Dave Bertans in Washington. He's making 16 mil this year, and then it goes up over the next 3 years just by a couple million. Tobias Harris is one for Philadelphia. He's making 36 mil this year, has 2 more years to make up to 40 million in his last year. Kristaps Porzingis from Dallas, 3 years, makes 32 this year. At the end of his deal, he'll make 36 on a player option. John Wall, which we just mentioned, 44 this year, 47 on a player option next year, and then Russell Westbrook in his own, 44 this year and 47 in a player option next year.
Just wait.
Do any of those
there.
teams poke out at you?
Yeah, Tobias Harris.
Yeah,
I think both
That's the
those
first
teams
thing
would
I
make
know.
that trade. I think the Sixers they just had a guy who couldn't shoot, who didn't even try to shoot,
That's true.
and
That does look like a pretty fair deal.
yeah,
They
man.
just
Like,
swap
don't
those two.
if they don't get to trade Ben Simmons for this deadline. All right, let's just get this off. We're gonna figure out Ben Simmons next year, and by that time, be sure you're gonna have Russell Westbrook on your team, but you also have the option to trade for someone else. You're not now stuck on, hey, I got to get a point guard. You can get anybody else. Jaylen Brown could be available. Hey, we can go for him without a question because we have a point guard now. I love that. I actually never thought about that, and I think that would be the best case scenario for both teams.
Yeah, because then it's like you can allow LeBron to be, like first position ball handler, don't have to battle with Russ. And then Tobias Harris sits there at your 3, at your 4. He's a tertiary scorer. Like, he's never really been that guy. Like, he's just doing that in Philadelphia. I think it's a good deal as well.
I'm gonna tweet that and pretend like I came up with it.
Yeah, okay.
Just know I'll call you out.
Yeah, right.
I'll be like, this guy's a phony.
The only thing is, does Philly do that? Like, I know they want to get rid of it, but like looking at where they are in terms of positioning of the East, how well they're doing, does getting rid of Tobias Harris and taking on Russell Westbrook, knowing what a lot of the league sees when it comes to Russell Westbrook, is it worth it, or like, what do you think?
I think if you're looking at
Because
the best
then
way to utilize,
potentially, if it doesn't work, then now I have Russell Westbrook and I have Ben Simmons. Now I don't really know what the fuck I'm doing.
it could go wrong, but I think it's about utilizing Joel Embiid the best way possible. And once you have a guy like Russ who can run the pick and roll, you can also have him kick out to the shooters. You can have him kick it out to Joel, make Joel's life easier. Because Joel is he's running it. It's a one-man offense, right?
Yeah.
So I think it will make his life easier. Taking back to the days where when Ben Simmons and Jimmy Butler, they were able to run the pick and roll with him and have him get easy buckets without trying this hard.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, Chris, your take. Deliver.
Oh, I was still supposed to give a take.
We gave you all that time,
bro. I was just listening.
Weekly thing.
I was just listening to your guys' takes. I was just listening.
Tell us something about the Raptors.
Focusing
Tell
on that.
us something, but tell us what's going on with the
I'm gonna be honest.
Didn't they just get absolutely bent over last night?
I don't know.
I think they were down by a lot, and then they made.
I read an article that said Raptors dig themselves a hole they can't get out of.
Okay, relax yourself.
Sounds like the Raptors.
That's clearly a biased news source. All right.
Pretty sure it was the Toronto Star, but okay.
Fake news. Although I did see those fucking massive dunks from Mr. Suggs yesterday. Those were fucking impressive.
I just picked him up in fantasy. He's actually been doing pretty well. Yeah.
Didn't DeMar catch a body? Wasn't that him catching the body on the poster?
No, he caught a body with Wagner, but that's about it.
I thought it was DeMar. It looked like you caught the body. I just saw braids, and I assumed it was DeMar.
Yeah, they were down by 34 at one point.
Jeez, it happens, okay? Teams go up, teams go down. You know, at one point, weren't your Clippers down by like 40 to the fucking Dallas Mavericks before they eliminated them? Something like that.
And they won.
I don't remember.
Yeah, they were down multiple times and they won. That's why I don't like when the Clippers get down. I'm like, you guys are like the Leafs. You think you can play from behind. You think it's cute. You're like, oh, let's play behind.
Honestly, that's not just a Leafs thing. That's a whole Toronto team mentality thing. You know, that's my hot take. That is my fucking hot take. Is why do all Toronto franchises, Raptors, Leafs, all feel like they need to fucking come and play from behind? Why?
It's cute. That's why, bro. The
Like,
Leafs
it's
just did it last week.
stupid. It's so stupid and it's so frustrating because it's like you can come out with that intensity, that fire, that heat, and you can get the game going. And it's like, oh, sick, we're up by 10. And then it's all of a sudden, yeah, let's just fucking put the car in neutral and just cruise for the rest of the game. And now you're down by 20. And it's like, oh, in the last 4 minutes of the fourth quarter, you're like, okay, let's turn the intensity back on to no. It's
Yeah, like
never
who slashed my tires? It's like maybe you shouldn't have put your car in neutral then, dumbass.
Yeah,
He
like
wouldn't have caught
fuck.
you.
I hate that shit. Like nothing
Like-
irks me more being a Toronto fan, but like any franchise, it's just that mentality. It's stupid.
Definitely earth-worthy.
Has me
Definitely
punching
earth-worthy.
air, bro. Has me punching air at home sometimes. I'm fucking swinging. I would have caught a case.
Jesus.
No, it's a
Getting
gets me
violent.
heated.
Chris is in his room by himself. Hold me back. Hold me back.
Pretty much, I'm yelling to the cats. Hold me the fuck
There's
back.
no one there.
The cats.
Just the cats.
Like no one's holding him back. There's no one in front of him. He's just like,
Yeah, no, it's just by himself. Somebody walks in and he's like, "Well, hi, Mark."
yeah, exactly. Mike. Hi, Mike.
Hey, Mike. What's going on, Mike?
Yeah, you guys remember my great reference to the great movie.
Like Mike?
No, hi, Mark. You guys don't remember that?
No.
The disaster movie?
Oh yeah, Disaster. I haven't watched
I
that
think I
though.
watched it.
No,
It's a
even though I heard it's a
classic
cult classic, kind of like Space Jam. It's just at this point, it's people just watch it to watch it.
On their birthdays and shit. I don't know
Only
why.
on their birthdays though.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's like,
Yeah.
hey man, I'm just gonna wake up and watch Space Jam. It's like, bro, you got nothing
It's
better
such
to
a good
do?
movie. It's such a good movie.
Eh,
Makes
there's
me
better
cry
movies.
every time.
Makes you cry every
every
Which
time.
part? When you see Lola Bunny?
No, the part when he sees
whenever,
MJ.
No, whenever he's playing with his dad at the start. It's so sad.
Toby's sitting there at the start of the movie crying.
So I was thinking, man, I wish I could have played ball with my dad back.
No,
in
I
the day.
cry. I cry when Bill Murray comes in. Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, Bill Murray.
Or where he's coming off the plane in the baseball
Yeah.
field. I
Yeah.
believe I can fly.
Oh, it's so beautiful. That's so sad. You're like, and then what's Newman's like, ladies and gentlemen, Michael Jordan, and then everyone's clapping. You're like, yes, let's go, Michael, let's go, yes.
Not gonna lie, that moment does give me chills.
It does fire you up, right? Like it
It
actually
does,
does,
it
low
does.
key.
Honestly, I'm
All right,
not
well,
even.
I think we have exhausted the podcast enough. You know, we did our 2022 All-Star ballot, delivered our takes of the week. Chris listened to us deliver
I
our
did.
takes of the week.
I did.
You know, and then we got
Yeah,
into a
the
little
take.
conversation. Yeah, that's right. I guess. Yeah.
I had a tiny
He
take.
tried to put one together.
I had a tiny take, but man,
Tiny take of the week.
tiny take of the week.
But trade deadline's coming up soon. All-Star game is coming up soon. We got much more content coming, so very excited for that. Catch you next one.
Fuck Grayson Allen.
Grayson.